Hello everyone, I'm the Peculiar Pisces and welcome to my channel. Today is Friday, November 7th, 2025, and this is Flosstube video number 64. I'm back with my weekly update, although it's been 2 weeks since the last time that I updated because last Friday I had to cover a shift for a coworker. So there wasn't enough time to do everything that I normally do to do these videos and, get to work. So anyway, I will jump right into it. I will start with where I ended for October's projects and then jump into November's because that's what I've been doing for the last 2 weeks. So let's start with October's things, which are all back here. So, project number 1, favorite designer that I've been working on for October was Mirabilia's August Peridot Fairy. And I am doing this on BestitchMe's Wild Bouquet. It is 28 count Opal Lugana. I'm doing this 2 strands over 2, and her skin is 1/1. It was not charted that way, but that is how I did it. So I hit officially the halfway point on my stitching, and then I came down to this corner and I'm just bringing her dress down. So yeah, that's where I ended it for the month. Kind of sad to see her go away for the month, but at the same time, I'm also really excited to be touching the lavender and lace again. So it's both good and bad. And then project 2 for October is the Loose Thread Stitchery's Orchid Blackwork pattern. I am doing this on 18 count Aida that I hand dyed myself. And here is where I ended for the month. I have finished doing the stitching on this page and I started working on the back stitching. And I'm just gonna back stitch as I go, which I don't normally do, but I don't know. I don't know why I wanted to do it this time, but that's the way that I'm going. So, kind of happy to put this one away because this was a lot more intricately designed than Pentecost was, although Pentecost was a much bigger piece. This one has more intricate designs inside of the flower itself and inside of the leaves and everything. So it's a different type of blackwork. And project 3 is Nene Thomas's Waterfalls of Jade. And I actually hit the halfway point in this. And I've started in on the dragon's mane, hair, feathers. Like, I don't know what that is on the dragon, but I've started in on part of the dragon and into the sky area. So no more greens and browns anymore. Now I'm into blues and silvers. So here is where I got. And as I realize as I'm doing this, I'm not giving the times or the stats. I will go back and do that for all 4 of the projects as soon as I'm done showing them. This is 22 count Hardinger that I hand dyed myself. And I started doing this one 1/1, and I didn't like the coverage, so I very quickly changed it to 2/1. And then project number 4 is the Dimensions Indian Peacock. And here is where I got to. I'm still not finished with this quarter. I still have some more flower to fill in, and then just a little bit of tan over here. But I'm close. I'm very close. And this is 14 count natural Aida that came with the kit. Okay, so let me quickly give you the stats on those before we move on to November's. So, project 1, the Mirabilia, I put in from the week of 10/27 to 11/2, I put in 5 hours, 14 minutes, and 45 seconds. And that brought my total time for it to 54 hours, 39 minutes, and 40 seconds. And then the Orchid Blackwork, project number 2, the Orchid Blackwork, I got to put in 2 hours, 42 minutes, and 12 seconds, and it brought my total time to 9 hours, 43 minutes, and 47 seconds. And then project 3 was the Waterfalls of Jade. I put in 3 hours, 8 minutes, and 19 seconds, and it brought my total time to 29 hours, 37 minutes, and 44 seconds. And with this one, I did have pattern keeper stats. The 3 days that I got to work on it, I put in 52 stitches, 45 stitches, and then I did like a whole hour and 40 minutes on it, and I put in 155 stitches. So the stitch count on this one is so very, very low because of all the confetti in the project. But I put in 252 stitches the week of 10/27 to 11/2. So it's brought my total stitch count to 2,810 out of 244,860, and I am at 1.15%. It's a lot. And then project 4 was the Indian Peacock. Just make sure I'm in the right spot. Yeah. I got to put in 1 hour, 53 minutes, and 33 seconds, and it brought my total time to 33 hours, 23 minutes, and 50 seconds. So 3 out of the 4 projects for October were paper patterns, and only the Nene Thomas I was able to give statistics on. And then put these away really quick. Now we are up to November's projects. So, I did not have as productive of a week working on my November projects as I had hoped. Monday, my husband came home from work early, not feeling well. Tuesday, my husband took off because he was sick, and it's like my husband very much gets man flu. He is the biggest baby ever when he's sick. So Tuesday, he took off work, and so I didn't get very much stitching in. But then he also was like, go get new glasses. And so I went to get new glasses, and I'm now old enough that I need bifocal glasses. And unfortunately, I'm very concerned because I'm headache prone. I get headaches very easily. So within talking to the person at the store, we opted that I would get 2 sets of glasses. And especially because the glasses store that I went to iMart, and they do a special where you get a second pair of free glasses. And the free depends on what frames you choose. And I did choose a set of frames that were about $10 over what the free pair were. But they had to order in my distance lenses, so I don't have my new distance glasses yet. But my reading glasses, I have my new reading glasses. And here's how I look with my reading glasses. And yes, I made myself a glasses chain. I don't know what it's called. I'm just going to call it glasses chain. I made myself a glasses chain. I went down into my basement. I pulled out I think it's Beetlon brand name. You know what? Let me pause this, and I'm going to get my supplies just so that everybody knows. Okay. So, yeah. I got my Beetlon wire. It's a nice, flexible beading wire. I had pulled out this tiger's eye was actually a big strand, like a big strand. And so I went ahead and just turned it into my glasses chain. I got these little things that are the end pieces that go on the glasses part. And I pulled out, of course, just came undone. These are my crimp beads in a little container. And I pulled out several strands of other things. I need to make a couple more. And I need to make some that match different outfits, because I'm going to lean into my grandma-ness. So like I've got some beads that I need to figure out a little pattern, because those aren't nearly long enough to make my chain. My mom had a necklace that she had made with these beads, and I texted her to ask her if I could tear it apart so I can make a glasses chain. She said that I could. I had a necklace that I had made out of ruby zoisite, and I had a really nice strand of beads of ruby zoisite that was a really good strand because it was more ruby than zoisite. And then some watermelon tourmaline. I am part of the way done with this chain, but I need to redo this and do my pattern a little differently because I don't have all of the things that I needed. Like, I mean, I have more beads, but I ran out of some, so I need to space them differently. That's all. So that was an unexpected craft that I started working on this week because I got reading glasses. And I'm going to go ahead and take these back off and put my normal glasses back on so that I can see the computer again. It's just far enough away that it was out of my line of sight. So that was Tuesday. Then Wednesday, my oldest child was sick, so I kept her home. And then Thursday, she was still sick, not feeling well, so I kept her home again. And then my husband ended up staying home on Thursday to finish packing up some last minute things because he's got a hunting trip this weekend. So it was like I just didn't have hardly any time to work on my projects this week. I was very put out about it. Very put out. So, project number 1 that I started working on for the month of October is Lavender and Lace's Lady of the Thread. This is the picture. I spent time last year recharting this into Floss Cross. And so I have a digital copy in Pattern Keeper. So I do have some statistics. But here is my progress on it for this past week. I was just been working in this and in part of the mirror. So just mainly in the middle. When I finished working on this back in, I don't know, June, July, whenever it was, I had pretty much gotten as far as this as I'm going to go for now. And then I counted down to get into the middle area. And I'm going to start working on the middle. And then once I get this all pretty much done here, then I'll just bring it down. So I'm not working on this like I normally would. Normally I'm a middle out stitcher, but this one, I found where the middle was, I counted up, and I'm starting from the top down. I was just trying something different with this project. So this is 14 count Aida that I think it's Charles Craft. And like I said, I also recharted, or I'm changing the color of her dress. I'm not there yet, but I'm changing the color of her dress. Now, the way that I'm stitching this now is once I bring this down, I will be into her dress. That's sort of why I've gone the route that I'm going, so that I get to her dress. And then stats. Okay, so because I did put this one into Pattern Keeper, I do have more than just my time. So this past week, 11/3 to 11/9, which the week isn't over, but that's probably all I'm going to touch it for this week. I put in 1 hour, 54 minutes, and 42 seconds, and it's brought my total time to 36 hours, 36 minutes, and 59 seconds. And the 2 days that I got to work on it, I put in 175 stitches and 155 stitches. So total, I put in 330 stitches this past week. It brought my stitch count to 4,020 out of 17,306. And I am at 23.23%. So that is fun. And in that vein, something that I've been working on while I have been at work is recharting the next lavender and lace that I want to work on. And I'm glad that I'm starting to work on it now because it's a doozy. The next one that I want to work on after I finish this is the Queen Anne's lace. And I'm uncertain right now because I'm just in the top portion. I haven't even gotten to her head yet. But I'm uncertain if I want to change the color of her dress. I am by no means a yellow fan. The blue part of the dress is not bad, but I am not a fan of the yellow dress. So I'm trying to decide if I'm going to change the color of her dress. And I have a while until I need to make that decision because this pattern is huge. I didn't realize it was as big as what it was because when I pulled it out, I'm like, oh, I'm just at the top, right? So I'm like, oh, okay, it's not too bad. No, it's enormous. It's enormous, and it's just on the front. It's not front and back. So this is the whole pattern. So I'm just working along at the top, working on recharting it so that I have the electronic version, and recharting it makes it so much more easy to change colors. So that's for the future, but I did want to let you know that I have been recharting my next lavender lace that I want to work on. And I can tell you it's going to be more than 17,000 stitches. And then project 2 that I'm working on is the Dutch Beauty Sampler. And I am on page 4 of it, although they list them alphabetically, so I'm on page D. But I am, have I hit that halfway point? I think I'm halfway across. Yeah, page D is the halfway page in the pattern. So I am here in this middle section. Okay. So here is where I am. I have been working in this little angel right here. When I picked it up, I pretty much had the blue part of the wing and this part that comes across here. And I had some of the skin going in its face. So I finished the top portion of the skin and I did the dark hair, and then I came down and I worked on more of the skin. I added this little blue thing down here and started on the dark down here. Okay, so this one I had scanned and brought into Pattern Keeper manually. So I do have stats on this one as well. So, oh, and that is 14 count Aida that I hand dyed in a Come Dye With Me video. So for the week of 11/3 through 11/9, I got to put in 1 hour, 12 minutes, and 2 seconds, and it brought my total time to 58 minutes. No, 58 hours, 46 minutes, and 46 seconds. And the 2 days that I got to work on it, I put in 121 stitches and 134 stitches. So I put in a total of 255 stitches. And it has brought my stitch count to 11,273. Now, because of the way that I brought it into Pattern Keeper by scanning it and then lining up the grids and stuff, I don't know exactly how many stitches there are in it because it tells me every single square, whether it's a blank square or a square with a symbol. So I don't have the actual stitch count on it. I just have my tracked stitches. And then project number 3. Project number 3 is my shadowing. This is the cover photo for it. This is the Misty Morning Vineyard. And this is Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers. It's called Dreamweavers. This is 32 count Lugana and it's opalescent fabric. It's a little hard to hold it this time. Okay, so I'm still working in this center motif and I'm just working on the half of it. But I put in a row of stitches all along the outside of this gold. I put in some stitches down through here, and then I've started this, the one that's on my needle. So I've started this color and it's going to go all around the outside too. And I left this one parked because I do need this color and it's like every other stitch, so I have to go back up with it. But I didn't want to do that yet until I had these stitches down too. So I'm using all the called for silks for this, which this one is like 100% silks. Had I realized that this particular one was all silks right off the bat, I probably would have chosen a different chatelaine to start as my very first ever chatelaine, but I like peacocks, so I had to choose the peacocks. So it is what it is. Sorry, let me get my computer back where it was. And then that one is not in Pattern Keeper. I scanned the pattern and I'm using a PDF reader to work on that one. So it's a little bit slower going. So this one, I only have my time stats. So for the week of 11/3 to 11/9, I put in 1 hour, 31 minutes, and 19 seconds. And it's brought my total time on it to 15 hours, 4 minutes, and 27 seconds. And now project 4. Project 4 is a plaid Lucilla kit called 4 Seasons. I am in the spring quadrant here because I've said this before, I'm a middle out stitcher, so I started at the middle and I usually work up to this first quarter and then I'll do the second quarter and then I'll jump down to the third quarter and then I'll finish the last quarter. That is typically how I stitch and that's what I've been doing for this one. There's only a few projects this year that I'm not doing my normal middle out stitching. And like the lavender and lace is one of them. The winter in the Shire, I'm doing that by color completion instead. The waterfalls of Jade, I'm doing that by working along the top row and just coming down. I think that's it. I think those are the only couple because the Fay Risque by Amy Brown, I started that in the middle and I'm working up that first quadrant. So yeah. Oh, and the Dutch Beauty sampler. That one, the instructions tell you to do it page by page by page and it lays out how to do it. So I'm following the instructions on that one and doing it in order the way that it says to. So I don't feel that that counts as doing it differently because I'm actually following the directions. But anyway, so 4 seasons, and I'm in the spring quadrant. So here, so the last time you saw it, I had this row of blue clouds, or the edging of the blue clouds, and that's where I had stopped. So I put in all of this dark blue that's along the edge here, and I started in with this light blue that's in these parts of the clouds, and I'm just filling it in. So yeah, it's coming along. This is the fabric that came with the kit. It was 28 count ivory even weave, and I hand dyed it myself. So this is a dye job by me. I really like how it came out. I chose the purples in it because there were more pinks in this one. And so I just wanted a little bit of purple showing through here and there, since it's not completely a full coverage design. Up where it has the names spring, summer, autumn, winter, you can see through to the fabric behind it. And then in the edging of the, like, there's spring flowers here, vines over here, fall leaves over here, and then like winter holly and berries over here. So that is also not full coverage either. It's you can see the fabric through it. So I wanted to have a little bit of purple to show through. Purple is one of my colors. What can I say? And that's it. That's it. That's all that I've been working on for the past 2 weeks. So I did get a lot of progress on my October pieces that last week of October. I'm really pleased with where I got with those. And then this beginning of November, not quite as pleased with my progress, but it's just the beginning of the month, and I don't work the week of Thanksgiving. Of course, my kids are off school too, so I don't know how much stitching I'll get in that week, but I'm hoping to get in more stitching. So that is it. I will see everyone next week. I don't have any plans for, like, there's nothing going on next Friday that I would not be able to do this video. So yeah, I will see everyone in a week.